Hello, everyone, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
Today, we're going to talk about the huge win by the Indiana Fever over the Connecticut Sun, 84-80 last night. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so and hit that notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next videos. Make Rob happy. You don't want Rob to be upset. All right, well, we're in a good mood because that was a big win last night. Connecticut Sun had beaten them 3 times in a row, twice were blowouts, and this time, their last try, the Indiana Fever won, which is a huge deal because they might meet in the playoffs. So it was good to have some confidence going into that game. Rob, do you have any big takeaways from the game?
Yeah, I mean they won the game. It was they looks like they were going to falter in the third quarter. There, they played overall. They were playing They had the running game going in the beginning, and then did the little slow ball thing. But still, they kind of managed through. Helped out a little bit in the defense, and near the end, clutch free throws, and of course, I think Lexie Hall was the MVP of the game. She's played another great game. She should be starting.
Really, Rob? Wow, that's so difficult to see.
I know. I kind of just pulled that one out of my hat, Mark.
This is what's amazing to me, Rob. It's been obvious since game 3 or 4 that Temi should have been starting. Now, she got injured. And it's been obvious since a few games after that Lexie Hall should have been starting. Wallace and Katie Samuelson were never good starters. So it was obvious they shouldn't have been starting. Why could everybody see that? Almost everybody, besides Christy Sides. That's what I want to know. I'm flabbergasted that she couldn't see. The obvious starting 5 is Temi, Lexie Hall, Caitlin Clark, Boston, and Mitchell. That's the obvious starting 5.
Right.
Now, I know Smith was a starter last year, and you probably wouldn't take her out the starting lineup right away in the beginning of the year, but eventually Temi would have, if she hadn't got injured, she was already proven she was like the second most valuable player in the beginning of the year. Smith loses her confidence, I think, when she didn't get started, but too bad. Go play better, play harder.
Right.
She's inconsistent. She played hard the last 2 games, but like 3 games ago, she looked checked out.
Yeah.
But she didn't play great. She doesn't play great defense.
If she wants that spot, she's got to earn it. She's got to play. There's people waiting there to step in. Like you said, if Temi starts getting back in shape after her injury, she better just be looking over her shoulder and be cutting into her playing time. But she's got to keep. But it seems like Sides had the right lineup at the end of the fourth quarter. Didn't insert.
Which is the starting lineups. That's what the starting lineup should be.
Yeah, that's she at the end of the game. Like, but I know you were both waiting. You're both waiting. It's like, okay, when's you going to put in Wheeler? When's you going to put in Wheeler? When's you going to put in Wheeler?
They do a lot better in the second half when they just play Wheeler in the first half and not play in the second half. They're more likely to win the game. They've shown that. But you need Temi in there at the end of the game for her defense, but you need Temi in there in general. She doesn't put a lot of numbers up. In fact, her shot's off right now, I think, because of her hand is not 100%. But her defense was phenomenal. So was Hall last night. And they really need that because they don't have a great defense. Although I will say Mitchell's defense was better yesterday, and even Clark's was better. Their defense was better. It still is not good, but I didn't see all these wide open threes that I saw in almost every game this year.
Right. Yeah. They seem to tighten up a little. Temi was a plus 18. She's the highest, differential on the team. She only played 17 minutes, but she had the highest.
It wasn't even close, Rob. It wasn't even close. The plus minus wasn't even close. It shows you that she does the things that doesn't show up in the box score, and she should be starting. And first of all, the refs were awful. They had 2 calls that went the Fever way, so it wasn't just that. On that, they shouldn't have gotten the ball. When Temi put pressure on Thomas, it was off her, and they got the call wrong. And Mitchell tripped on her own, and they called a foul. Now, if they hadn't called the foul, it would have probably been a travel. The rest of the calls all seemed to benefit Connecticut Sun. I figured out, I was saying this on the broadcast last night. You weren't sure where I was coming from, but Dejanay Carrington is a great defender. But last night, she would poke at Clark, and she would kind of grab her and stuff like that. And they wouldn't call fouls. She got away with too much physicality. And I was saying, why does she only have 1.3 steals? Because she seems to be stealing from Clark pretty easy. And Clark has, good handles. And I figured out, well, that's because she doesn't always get the calls, but she does against Clark because the refs don't like Clark.
Yeah, a lot of hand checking there. There's a lot of physical, a lot of hand checking, and a lot of. See now, like I said, when I was refereeing, my call was a reaching call, and those are a lot of reaches. I would have probably called a foul on her for reaching, which she did a lot.
Right. I think she got the best benefit of calls last night. And then there was the charge by Thomas, which I believe was the right call in the first place. She drove into Mitchell. Basically, Mitchell was underneath the basket at that point. So she wasn't even trying to go to the basket. Thomas was trying to initiate contact with Smith by driving into her. She wasn't even driving to the basket to make the shot. So she did. She drove into her, and then she went to the right and made the shot. That's a charge. She wasn't moving towards the basket. She was moving towards Smith to initiate the contract. So they shouldn't have withdrawn that call after they challenged it. Right, Rob?
Yeah.
Am I correct on this one?
I would have. I on the broadcast, I noted that I would have probably been thrown out of the game, or at least I got a technical foul on that because.
For after they overturned it, right?
Yeah,
right. So that's why I thought that was terrible that they overturned it. They got the call right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a play where Smith did the same thing. She had an easy layup. Instead of just taking the layup, she put her body into the defender and then did the layup and then missed the layup and then complained when she got called for a foul. No wonder they're missing so many layups. Just make the layup. Quit trying to get an and one. Just make the freaking layup.
Yeah, she got technical on that. She deserved this. Like, yeah, I mean, I used to do that when you're playing around with friends. You know, you have a pickup game, you play around with friends, and like if I was playing you, I probably would do the same thing. I'd stop, maybe give you a little nudge, push you off, and then try to shoot the shot instead of just going up for a shot. But that's like just playing around. But I mean, she had a wide open shot. Why did she stop? And okay,
she took time to go drive her shoulder into the defender and then go back and make the shot.
Right.
That's just dumb. Just make the shot. Anyways, first of all, let's talk about Hall since she was phenomenal. She had that one lucky three, but other than that, Rob, it was all her. It was just all effort on her part. She ended up being, she was a +6, but she really was 5 for 9, 4 for 6 for threes, 3 for 4 at the line, 8 rebounds, Rob, 8 rebounds, 3 assists and a block, and just phenomenal on-ball defense and only 2 turnovers, Rob. So she played great. And Fegbenley now doesn't show up in the box score, but she was a +18, as you pointed out. And she was 0 for 2. I think her hand is not 100%, but she did get 3 rebounds and a block. But she just played great on-ball defense, just like Hall. And they were the keys to the game, and other than Mitchell making some big scores, I thought.
Right. I agree. Yeah, like I said, she was the key person. She was the most valuable player in the game. She hit her threes, played defense. And that's why, you play good defense when you have fouls, because at least you're making the effort to guard the person. If you have no fouls, that's not good defense. I'm sorry. You're not playing very good defense.
Right. Now, I have mixed feelings about Caitlin Clark's game. I thought she played an average game, but I'm going to give her the good parts first. Number one, she pushed the pace this game, which she didn't do so much last game. And I don't know if she just said to Christy Sides between games, quit making me slow it down. Let me push the pace. And they pushed the pace, and that's why they won. So you have to give Caitlin Clark credit, because they wouldn't have won if they hadn't pushed the pace, because their half-court offense is terrible. So I'll say that. And she made some great passes, 2 full-length court passes. The second one that was to Lexie Hall, and I saw it in the replay, that was off a made basket. And it was like one of the best passes you'll ever see on a length of court pass. And then she made it a good one to Mitchell also.
I was going to say, I haven't seen passes like that since Wes Unseld. Full length, just get the ball and throw the ball down the court like that.
And then she got double teamed at the top of the key, and she did behind the back pass to Boston. It was perfect. It was a great pass. And she made some great passes, but she ended up with only 5 assists and 7 turnovers. And some of the turnovers were just out and out dumb forces. And that's what I'm disappointed about her. She's got to stop doing that. I don't mind the forces on some high risk passes where there's a decent chance of being completed. But like the first one to Boston, there was like absolutely no room to put that ball, and she threw it anyways.
Right. I used to tell the parents used to laugh at me when I coached basketball when my players used to do that, and I'd go like, "Hey, Johnny, we're in blue. Pass to the guys in blue."
Right. Like I said, I can handle some of her turnovers because they're high reward, high risk passes. That's not a high reward pass. It's just high risk. It was just underneath the basket, So she has to stop doing that if she wants to be, the best player in the league. You can't. A turnover's a point. That's really what it is. You get 80 possessions, and 80, half the time they score, and that's what it is. The turnovers are basically a point. It's against your team, so that's why turnovers are bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to it's okay to have turnovers, but to just try to pass the ball, say she was beginning, I'm going to pass the ball to you now. Here it comes, and she throws it, and then she throws it, and the defense is like, oh, she's passing it to Boston, or she was just throwing it in there. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, so she had a couple passes like that where she just basically forced it, but she had a tough defender on her. So her 3-point shot, she made some really nice step back threes, and it were really nice. But her 3-point shot is still not hitting. In fact, I think she was 3 for 12 last night, if I'm not mistaken, Rob.
Yeah, you're right. 3 for 12.
Right. So she was 7 for 17. She also had 5 rebounds, and she had a steal and a block. So overall, I thought she had an average game, 19 points. And but yes, they wouldn't have won without her pushing the pace. So you have to give her credit for that. That's why she's so valuable. As Sue Bird and the delightful Cheryl Reeves have pointed out, pace is very difficult to deal with in basketball, especially in the WNBA. So Mitchell was great overall. I thought her defense was better and her shooting was better. Mitchell was 8 for 14, 4 for 7, and she had 3 assists, Rob.
She's 4 rebounds
and 2 blocks. I know, but she made a really nice pass to Boston too.
Yeah, that's 1 out of how many minutes she played?
Well, 3 assists. And that's the other thing is she played 38 minutes. Boston played 38 minutes, and Clark played 38 minutes. Christy Sides she can't keep doing that.
Yeah, she really can't. I mean, Samson was sick, but she determined. Why is Saxon on the team?
I still don't know that question. Answer that question. I don't know why Berger's on the team. Although I would keep Berger on the team, I'd just play her more. But Dantas only played 6 minutes. Why is Boston playing 38? I have no clues to that. Smith was okay. Her energy level the last 2 games is better, but she had too many turnovers, and she just, her shots around the basket, I don't know. She makes nice spin moves, and then she doesn't even use the backboard and then misses the shot.
Yeah. Well, Hull is really showing she's like she played at Stanford. She's playing with a lot of confidence, a lot of energy, and she is kind of the spark of the team,
Right. Well, she's shown not only she should be a starter, she may be an all-star someday. I mean, I'm not saying this year or anything like that. I'm just saying she should have been starting all along. I don't know what happens in these practices. I'm sure that someone like Celeste Taylor showed great defense in the practice. I can't imagine she didn't. But what does Christy Sides see that we don't see?
I don't understand.
I'm talking about almost everybody, not just us. Everybody.
I use this point all the time, Mark. You're not even a coach. You've never coached the game, and you could see it. It's right
People
there.
People new to basketball can see it. That's why I keep using the word flabbergasted. I just like, what is she? There's something different going on in practice that we don't see, because it's obvious that from the beginning, Samuelson and Wallace weren't starting materials. She's just clueless. And coach of the year, that's a joke.
But it's good the Fever didn't falter. We were sitting. I'm sure everybody who's a Fever fan was sitting there just waiting. The third quarter, they thought, here it comes, and they actually did lose the lead, and they came back. But we were just waiting for that faltering point, and I think the team's kind of getting they're like, okay, we got this. They're getting more mature. They're a young team, and they're like, okay, we can win this game.
Right, and I was confused that they had Mitchell made a 3. I believe Clark passed it to her, and then Boston set a screen, which was questionable whether it was a moving screen or not, but it was clear the ball was released first. And none of the 3 refs could see that. And I don't understand why she couldn't challenge that. I don't understand why that's not a challengeable, because she had a challenge left, because the only challenge she used, she won.
They were saying, I mean, some of the people who were watching the game, I was kind of thinking too, they were saying because that the foul was made before she shot it. She said that they made the call before she shot it.
It clearly wasn't if you saw the replay. So why couldn't she challenge when the foul was called as in the shot, as opposed to just calling the foul? Why can't that be challenged? The refs didn't seem to even give her that option. I don't know what the rules are. I don't know if that's not a challengeable call. It seems to me it should be. Mm-hmm. But I'm flabbergasted. That cost them 3 big points at the end of the game. That was a terrible call. Yeah, and I didn't even think it didn't even seem like a moving pick to me. It just, luckily they won, because the refs are terrible in this league, and they're always going to be terrible, at least for the rest of this year, until they do something in the offseason. I wonder if they realized how bad the refs were until more and more people had eyes on the WNBA and pointed out how bad the refs were. And maybe now that they heard so much criticism, they'll try to do something about it. Maybe they'll get with the more money brought in by Clark, they'll have more of a budget to get better refs. Like I said, try to grab some of the best refs from men's Division I basketball refs. They're not going to get the NBA refs, obviously, but the men's Division I refs, try to offer more money and get them to ref in the WNBA. And it's the off season for them, you know.
I was waiting for them to falter, and I'm glad they didn't. I was sitting there, there's another blown lead, but they hung in there, and that's all they care about. So, and against a really good team who had just beaten the Liberty the night before. So, I mean, they're coming on.
Boston has not been shooting great since the break. She's shot under 500 every game since the break, Rob. It's in 5 games. She only had 10 points, and she had 6 rebounds, but she had 8 assists, Rob. She's becoming a great passer. Mm-hmm. Amazing. She's not a point guard, and she's the second best passer on the team. By a large margin, right. She's the second best passer on the team. So she made up for the fact that she's not shooting well with two huge games that she had a lot of assists. So I'll give her that. But she had 4 turnovers. Her and Smith had 4 turnovers each.
And see, that would be a binding kind of joking thing. If I was her, I'd walk up to Clark and go, "Hey, assist leader, I got more assists than you. I got 8. You only got."
I know. It's twice she's had more assists than her. Right.
That'd be a binding thing, and Clark would probably start laughing like I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. I got 8 assists.
Right. So, anyways, they played Wheeler 13 minutes, but only a couple minutes in the second half, and they played Wheeler and Clark at the same time, which is, of course, and she was a -3, of course.
and that's Mark's favorite combo.
Everyone's favorite combo. Clark's final stats were 19 points, 7 for 17, 3 for 12. And she had 5 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and a block. And her on-ball defense was better. By the way, the defense was better, Rob. Mm-hmm. It was better than it has been. Their half-court defense was better than it has been. But their transition defense wasn't as good.
Yeah, they're still working on that. They left the person wide. They had the lead, and they'd run down the court, and then they leave the person open for a 3. And I'm like, what are you doing? But yeah, overall, I said, this game, I said their defense was much better.
And usually there's like wide open 3s and stuff like that. But the Sun didn't play that great. They're lucky that Mayberry didn't play more or get more shots, because Mayberry's tough. Mayberry played better than anybody else. She had, for the Sun, she was 6 for 12 and 4 for 9 for 3s. And, she had like 2 steals, a block, and she had 4 assists and 2 rebounds, and she had 16 points. And she didn't even start, though she played 28 minutes. So, there was one other play. Alyssa Thomas, who people are now saying is the dirtiest player in the league. The other night, she shoved Angel Reese into Kennedy Carter, who was on the ground, and almost, hurt her knee. Could have broken her knee. And then yesterday, she drove her shoulder and almost took Clark's head off, but Clark turned her face at the last second. They didn't show the replay last night. I saw the replay this morning. It was on a pick, and it was an illegal pick because she had her legs all spread, which is illegal. Mm-hmm. You have to have your feet together. You can't have them all spread out on a pick. It has to be normal body length. And then she drove her shoulder into Clark, and Clark turned her head at the last second. Otherwise, she would have got hit right in the jaw, and Clark got knocked to the ground. Mm-hmm. So I saw the replay on that, and I don't know if it's a flagrant one, but it's close.
Yes, not. Like I said, it's getting rough. It's getting rough out there, Mark. They're fighting for the playoff spots, but There's no need for dirty play. There's no need for dirty ball play. There's no need for that.
Right. So, anyways, that's our take, and we're gonna go live. I think it's Friday night at 7:30. I think it's on Ion against the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese. I forget Camila Cardozo. We don't know if Kennedy Carter's playing. She's sick. She may have COVID. I don't know. They haven't announced that. So we'll see. The Chicago Sky has not been winning lately. So they should be able to get a win on that one, Rob.
Yeah, they're falling in the standings. The Dream, even though the Dream lost last night too, but they're only a game behind the Sky in the standings.
All right. So our normal live show we will not do on Monday because that's Labor Day. So we back on the 9th of September from 6 to 8. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, what are you waiting for? And hit the notification bell when you do, so you get notified of our next videos. We're going for 4,000 and we need your help. And if you like this video, hit the like button. And if you want to donate to this channel, you can with super chats and super thanks down below and a link to PayPal. And we'll see you in the next video.
Peace out.